Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
He also admitted that he speaks to that umbrella guy, and you'll see that one text in there.
Oh, no.
MZ. That umbrella guy is the big lead of Johnny Depp's, positive social media that is putting negative out on him.
So much credit.
You
Treading a thin line
seized
here,
the moment
Elaine.
and responded to the umbrella guy, the lead person for Mr. Depp's Twitters. Did you not?
Wait, what?
Twitter's the lead, man.
Overruled.
Facts not in evidence.
Mr. Umbrella Guy is the lead. The lead.
You
what?
know that he is.
I like my haters like my coffee extra mad and bitter. And then that lawyer all like you, so yeah, the man's a quitter. He's strapped face up behind the platinum grill. I style faceless, just pick these mic skills. And in the street killer, I will not be denied. That I'm mic'd up, I raise my head with pride. A force of nature cruising the whip, doing walk-bys on your boulevard. Face my verbal clip. In this land of live streams, baby, I'm on the road. Got my feet on the media, scraping them up my soles. It's that umbrella guy facing the accusers. Cleated out size 14s, crushing all those losers. That umbrella guy, they said we couldn't make it. Never ask permission, just sense our goal and take it. The media buzzwords, they will never save you. Listen and believe is meant to enslave you. Challenging the hypocrites and baby, I'm on fire. They flash titles like they're royalty, but it's true that I'm a journalist. Scribble nursey rhymes, one in this grill in a basket. With a tisket and a tasket and their morals in a casket. No morals in a casket. They're always pushing make believe and weaving straw to gold. But I'm sick of all the fairy tales and buying what I'm sold. Strolling into the backyard, taking truth on tour. Baby, there is sickness, and that umbrella guy's got the cure. Look, it's that umbrella guy knocking at the door. No more ministry of truth than the plot of 1984. They're dumping all my verbal clips. The case is filled with knowledge. They're on the mic like kindergarten, and I'm taking them to college. Why the mask, baby? Cause this has to be a crime. I'll take the mic and boom, they're in the chalk outline. I used to throw elbows, but now I'm dropping nukes. You wrote another hit piece, isn't that cute? And the worst part, they'll never learn it before the stakes start channeling, crash and burn. They pretend that we need to get their permission. That umbrella guy crushing their ambitions. You're not my competition, it's that umbrella. It's that umbrella guy steamrolling them out for fun. Mic check, mic wreck, paging this army of one. There's no hesitation, no doubt, not even a scintilla. The Tokyo baby and me, I'm Godzilla. Crushing them like Godzilla, like Godzilla.
All right, man. How's it going today? Now, the Megalodonus, she said that she will try to get by later. Let's see. Right now, she is, tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is the day that everybody is traveling out. They're going to check on Jeff and say their goodbyes. Really, things get finalized there. So, we'll see. We'll see. Love right there to everybody going to. I would have gone, but I just can't do that. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't really want to talk about that right now. Like I said, love to Jeff and everything, but Yeah. So today's been pretty interesting. We've had a few things come up today. We've had a new filing that just dropped. We had the judge ownership. Fun times. There's a little bit of a scheduling thing that we want to talk about today. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff to go over. I mean, it is something to behold. You're gonna love today. What's really amazing is even after getting owned, like the judge, it's funny too. Yesterday we kind of made plans on what we were going to do. So what happens? New fun. Here's something too I got thinking about. So, I've been pulling up stuff, and I want to go over this later on in the week. I want to get everything situated for it, but let me light my cigar. One sec. So we go over this ecosystem donor mess, the eating your own. And this is interesting. So the donor we had been talking about, all these people turned on them. Guess what? They gave money again the other night. You had people quite literally calling them a mole and a traitor and a piece of trash. And I kept thinking about that. And I couldn't for any reason figure out why you would continue to give money. But then I thought about the amount. So people have been talking about the amounts there. And there's one giant donor that gave thousands of dollars for the construction of many things, let's just say. Hundreds of dollars publicly, thousands reported privately. And if this is that person, that would mean that they had been scammed out of a lot of money. So maybe it's just easier to hold on to the notion that things are somehow going to work out rather than indeed. I mean, it's just amazing. I can't imagine giving money to people that are insulting me publicly. I was like, is this one of those dog mask moments? I'm curious. What's going on, son? What's going on? But they are so convinced over there. They're convinced in their in the idea that somehow, in some way, that ignoring every document, ignoring BBB, actually confirming the fact that things are real, somehow that's good. I don't know. It's just so bizarre. Now, let's start out with something fun. You want to start out with something? By the way, I've been trying to make I've been working on this one site, trying to make a moving icon for myself, right? And this thing does not want to get the mask right. Look at this. You want to see something really funny? Look at all these tries on it. And they're the same commands. Like, it's just, this is how AI is. Look at this. Look at all of them. Look at that. Hypno wheel. Some of them, they come up with wheels. So there's no rhyme and reason. I actually like that round structure, but getting it to do that, look at that, it's so bizarre. They're so weird. But I mean, command wise, I even had AI write the command for how to describe the mask. And it's like, don't understand you, sorry. It's so weird. Yeah, hypnotech. I know it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, the head, it turns in circles. Oh, it's so weird. I've been collecting a lot of stuff on that, though. And when I say I've been collecting a lot, I mean, look, check this out so far. All right, this is I'm organizing and making it all make sense, but just look at this mess here, okay? 1 second here. Pull this up. So I made a David folder, trying to keep up with this madness. And look, look at the amount of crazy. And most of this is him either complaining you've screwed me over through here. It's either that or it's them talking smack. I mean, there's that much of it. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a soap opera unto itself. It's actually quite the amazing thing. So we'll talk about the donor thing this weekend. And I do want to say this again publicly. And I very much mean this. They have until this weekend to showcase public-facing transparency. If they do not, then I will be reaching out to law enforcement myself. If there's anyone out there that is given money and they feel like they have been scammed, they can also do that themselves because, again, they have refused to showcase public transparency and they are raising lots of money. And while doing so, it's alarming because the monument thing, for example, the monument has reportedly stopped now. Now, why did it stop? Because they say one donor pulled out and they can't afford the total anymore. But there were a lot of people dropping money on those days. They were asking about it. Now, are they pulling well, actually, unless you said it was specifically for this thing, that's our money? Because that wasn't noted when money was picked up at the very beginning. Nowadays, they're playing if you want to give money, you have to, you note what it's for. It's in their stream yard pickup. But before then, they weren't doing that. I'm looking at some Bruce stuff too. There's so much stuff. He actually, you want really funny with this too. So he was so proud of the motions where he got shot down and looking like a fool. I mean, look at this stuff. And he bosses around the 2Ls. I mean, he sits in their chat and bosses them the fuck around. Like, look at this stuff. He's like, show the correct document. I mean, look, caps it out. Like, if you ever wonder what this ecosystem, who's the boss there, if you ever wonder, could you imagine this going like any other way? Could you imagine they say, for example, that Jeremy runs this whole thing going on. And yet, do you ever see, like, Jeremy will pop up and listen to something and laugh and goof off with people. But do you ever see, he's like, oh my God, right now, you better. No. Why? Because he ain't pulling no strings. He's just watching the shit show. He's like, oh my God, I realized stuff was crazy, but on the other side of that, though, you got this stuff. Isn't it amazing? And what's funny is this is the document that he actually gets shot down on. So it's pretty funny. He was so proud of himself for this thing. I mean, check this out. He also, their communication wise, again, make sure to preserve those communications because, again, he has noted out many times getting the file stamped copy from the email. Like, they have a lot of email communications. So these things are not privileged, baby. It's not privileged at all. I think there's one more too. And again, this is over the one that got shot down. And what's funny too is while he wasn't getting enough attention, so while the donor stuff is going on, while all of that's happening, this is the way people are like, well, stop this. And he's like, who cares? Get to my stuff. Get to me, baby. Get to me. I don't care if you're crying. I don't care about your alligator tears, woman. Get in your kitchen and fix me a document sandwich. It's like, whoa, dude. Oh my God! What an idiot! Uh, oh my God, that's funny. Oh, you want to see something? There's so much today. Okay, like there's so much. You want to see something entertaining? Like very entertaining as far as timeline is concerned. Would you like to start with that one? This one will be funny. Let's just start with something funny, okay? This isn't a lot of info. Well, it is a lot of info. It's important, okay? Let's just say. So give me a second here. It is a lot in its own way. So there's this little thing called depot dates now, right? And these depot dates, interestingly, guess who has a date that's noted coming up? That's legit, by the way, baby. That is 100% legit. I wanted to make sure about that. Saw that coming up. Yeah. 1/24, 2025. Woo, baby. Baby. That's right around ye bend. Oh my goodness. Look at that. 1/24, 2025. 10 a.m. Lisa Weeks, aka Lisa Weeks, aka Lisa Rapunzi, aka Lisa Lay Rapunzi, aka. I'm just going to start calling them all the AKAs. Instead of the two L's and stuff, I'm going to call them the AKAs. How's that sound? They're not even going to understand what that means. They're going to be like, oh my God, those are weapons. That's an automatic Kalashnikov automatic. It's like, what? No. Also known as idiots. Oh my God. Next thing you know, they're going to be wanting my head with the gauntlet. You're like, what does this mean? I mean, I realize I am the butcher of words, but holy crap. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at them dates. Look at them peoples. Marley Hughes on the 28th. Man, look at this. This is like the gift that keeps on. Remember when they were also laughing about how they wanted to be deposed? Oh, bring it. We want it so bad. Really, it's going to be interesting if they ask you questions about how much money you've raised. If they ask you questions about, being part of the ecosystem and all of the documentation that's been moving back and forth. There's a lot of things I don't know if you want to be asked in a court of law, especially since you've had problems in a court of law. You know, I mean, when they ask about another person and they ask about funding and how funding's working out, like that may well put it into a federal court case. And again, I mean, it's just, it's astounding to see. So remember they said at first, though, this was all a lie. Remember, we were told repeatedly that Jeremy Hales was an absolute liar. He wasn't going to bring any litigation that would try to add anybody to this. Then that happened. Then we were told that there would be no way that anything would ever move forward. Well, first, actually, let's rewind a little bit more. Remember how we were told that we wouldn't even have a case at this moment? This stuff had already been shut down, right? It was already done. Everything was done and over with, right? Yeah, now we're looking at a list of people for 128, Marla. 31, Russell, 26, Stephen Ritt, 213. Man, they just keep coming, don't they? Wow. I mean, wow. Oh, man. They've been like, oh my God, you know what? I mean, they've been talking VECS. Say, oh, by the way, let's get to the newest parts in the yonder DUI saga, that's been fun to watch too. Remember Brucey Bruce? This started yesterday. If you missed out on it, okay. So this starts out. We have DUI guy actually post, and there's a new part to this. That's why I'm going to mention this. But DUI guy mentions yesterday about motions for sanctions. He says, our motion for sanctions for filing a frivolous lawsuit and making us spend money on attorney's fees against Bruce and Scott is going to be heard in Levy County, Florida on February the 5th, 2025. That is right around the bend too. Man, the fireworks, I tell you, it is just, it's amazing, right? Here's another one. In the Levy County Courthouse in front of Judge Davis. Now, Megan Fox informed me that she will have a camera person in the room to record. Now, the only thing that BBB takes from this is that old Megan Fox. Oh my God, which is hilarious. Chandler and I, sorry, Chandler, that was my bad. Chandler and I will be there along with Jeremy and I imagine George to confront our accusers. I'm really looking forward to this. Buckle up. Justice is coming. Man. You know what? I love the buckle up, by the way. I've been getting my mileage out of that. So buckle up. And Bruce, well, he decided he would answer this. And he'd be like, you can't do that. You can't do it. His answer, well, he had a couple of answers to it, but his immediate answer was, this is a storyline for PR. The case is closed, and there's no hearing on any sanctions motion scheduled. Now, remember, with this, by the way, we saw something with that too. I'm going to bring this up, and then we'll finish the statement. Okay, but as far as this is concerned, we saw this wonderful thing. Let me pull this up for you. It says, good morning. The motions for sanctions can be set at 2/5/25, 1:45 p.m. Please confirm how much time will be needed. Thank you. And you notice what judge this is in front of. So, that is indeed looking legit, isn't it? So he's telling you that that's not happening. And yet, well, looks like it's real, doesn't it? It looks like game on. Now, we were talking about this last night, and there are questions, and I don't know how to answer this one yet, okay? I can't tell you. But either he's going out and fabricating yet another thing, trying to tell you that reality isn't there, or he doesn't know, because he doesn't know. He thinks he knows, but he doesn't really know. Maybe communications have stopped. That happened again. You remember Yale, what was his name? Silver Scam? Wasn't that the first guy? Wasn't that the first one? If I'm not mistaken. It's been a while, but that was the first lawyer, right? Give me a second. I'm trying to find something here. I got an electric blanket and I forgot to turn it on. I was like, this electric blanket's cold. Why is it so cold? Yeah. Gotta turn it on, baby. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So he was the very first one. And remember this thing we heard about that, right? He was complaining and publicly that they stopped talking to him. I wonder why, by the way. I wonder why. I mean, you've seen the way that he talks to people and chats. And yeah, you saw Shara when she made the video talking about that August 15th stuff with Landon. I mean, you've seen the communication. So you can imagine if that's extended to other lawyers, especially like if there's going to be a disagreement, there are disagreements a lot, by the way. That's part of cases. You do have different people with different strategies. Although in this case, again, I've not really seen Scott do much of anything. So, the filings and stuff. I mean, BBB talks about them as if they're his filings because, well, aren't they? Really? So then you had Ohio lawyer. Not going to note who they are. But there were complaints that they're not communicating anymore. apparently those communications too are not being returned. Again, wonder why. I wonder why such a nice person could never see people not wanting to communicate there, right? So, I mean, you don't know. Although I did find this, well, I'll pull this back up in a second, but I did find it funny. I actually was curious. So I went over to his Facebook. I was just, like I said, I was kind of curious about things. And I thought, man, look at all this stuff. Like his is like a testimonial to screwing up. It's like when he took the shot at the Lulyer for germing, and he had to change this 4 different times because he said it's so bitter. Okay. Or the whole oh man, they waived privilege. I bet you what happened with that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That fell by the wayside. I mean, you keep going back to stuff. Oh, remember when he was going to have that macaroni and cheese, quote unquote, cover up expose, and then documents dropped, and it looked like, oh no, this isn't going my way. You gotta shut that down. So I mean, it's like a lovely freaking just memorial for failure. I love it. So anyway, let's get back to what we were reading. If you ever get bored and you're like, ha ha ha, I want to read some funny stuff, that's the way to do it there. But he says February 5 was a hearing on the motion of summary judgment, which is moot. Again, we pulled up the document there, and the document, again, just to make this clear, said the motion for sanctions be scheduled there. So, that's not the case. He's wrong in it. For whatever reason, he is wrong. There's no basis to seek damages for having to spend money to defend a frivolous lawsuit. And yes, you've prevailed on the underlying allegedly frivolous lawsuit on its merits. No, you going out. See, this is the dumbest thing. So stupid. You imagine what he's saying here. Like, really think about this. I mean, it's like saying, I don't lie. I saw Sticky, which I'm gonna pick you out, Sticky. Sticky. Imagine Sticky and I, we're fighting over, whatever. Oh man. Sticky's like, you didn't have enough enthusiasm when you said my name. You said, Sticky Widget, I'm going to sue you. I'm like, man. So Sticky comes out. He goes past his safe harbor day, drops that. Then he pulls it. He's like, nah. Then he writes letters, and he's like, hey, well, actually, you know what? We need the enthusiasm. And how dare you mention this? And it did it again. Dropped it, did it again. Could you imagine? I mean, that's the kind of the scenario. He's saying, I can do this stuff. There's no basis for it whatsoever. You can't unless you win. Unless you've won. It was voluntarily dismissed without prejudice, and it can be refiled. Now, that is actually true. When you voluntarily dismiss, you dismiss without prejudice. Remember, that is a term that yonder ecosystem cannot understand. But yes, without prejudice. Remember, they were going over, last night was a great live stream, by the way. Megan Fox went over a bunch of stuff, but one of the things that they kept bringing up, let me actually pull this up. I think this is really funny. I was laughing about it I put a few things up on Facebook here and there. It's the only thing I've actually put up there are things about this mess. But one of the things that they were actually thinking was a win. This was them. And then we'll go back to what was being said. Yeah, check this out here. So they thought this was some kind of win here. They didn't understand what a joint stipulation of dismissal means. They didn't read anything here. They didn't understand that Megan Fox was the defendant in a case. We were talking about counterclaims in a case. They didn't understand that this was with prejudice, that means that not only if Megan, look at that, that's all they put. Megan Fox drops it. Oh my God. Yeah, the other person there, you notice the plaintiff, they dropped as well. And remember, this entire mess, Megan Fox, she went over everything that happened in it. And it was such a slam dunk for her. We were talking about a library that was allowing adults to do, let's just say, horrific things in a library, potentially around children. And all this lawsuit, all this business happens because of it. And they do indeed violate, the library does. And you actually have money plus they have to do, again, she goes over the whole thing yesterday. It is such an amazing thing. But the point in bringing this up is the ecosystem doesn't understand any of this. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating how they don't understand like basic documentation. I mean, again, you know, I see people say, well, maybe it's because not a lawyer. Dude, I'm not a lawyer. You know, there are things that, you know what I do if I don't understand a document? I do one of two things. Number one, actually, I usually do more than two things. Number one, I will go and look up what this filing is, what it means, what it actually means in a court of law, and I will contact one of the many attorneys that I know to make sure that I understand something. Now, again, there will be differences of opinion on something, so I may have to contact multiple lawyers. But the basic terminology for something, again, like joint dismissal, what's multiple people are doing. Oh, okay. With prejudice. Oh, it's not going to be refiled again. Okay. Why does that happen? Well, yeah. And if you look at the outcome on that too, the person had to admit, like in a statement, that they had lied about certain items that they had said. I mean, it's fascinating stuff. But anyway, I'm not rehash that. You definitely need to watch the live stream from yesterday on Megan Fox's channel if you haven't. And by the way, thank you folks too. I see people super chatting and everything. I'll hit all of those as well. Thank you for backing the channel. I've been off a couple of days. You know, this is my primary occupation now, so thank you. I do appreciate it. By the way, if you like the channel and you like the coverage, make sure that you tell people we are live because, well, sometimes it doesn't do that. On top of that, make sure that you like. And if you tune in, even if you're like, I got a jet or going to bounce, you know, leave it playing if you want to. If you can, it definitely does help out. And beyond that, if you'd like to support, don't inconvenience yourself ever. But if you like the thing that we do and you would like to support the thing that we do, well, then make sure that you do. And it's appreciated very much. So definitely not going to, it's fascinating. Oh my God. I want to show you one other thing real fast too. Okay. Give me 1 second. It's on the donor thing. So this dude who has all this shit talked about him, right? All this shit. Check this out here. Even with that, I'll go over all this. Like I said, in its own stream, but not only gives money again, but he's like, I would never go to that begging fox. You have my word. Even with these people putting this person's in a vice and talking smack about them on multiple channels. All these people like talking about them like they are Satan themselves. They're like, I know my place. It's amazing to me. Dude, what is wrong? I would be very mad that I got scammed. I'd be very mad too. And again, this is the thing all of them like to ignore. And we'll hit that message again. We'll pick that back up in 1 second. But one of the things all these folks are ignoring is the fact that the things that we've been seeing, they've been confirmed as real. Remember, just to note this, remember, you had BBB write Shara and tell them you're doxing old private messages. So it's confirmation those messages are real that she's been showing. One of those messages was especially bad. It talked about a little one, and it talked about something the little one supposedly said about JC, and it was horrific. And all of this, they either just don't care, or they surround themselves with the ecosystem echo chambers, so they never hear any of that. I don't think I'd want my money going for that, but what do I know? It's not my money, right? Oh, begging Megan, right? Oh, it's so sad, man. People are sad, dude. People are strange when you're a stranger, when you give away thousands you've earned. I mean, okay, so it was voluntary, he said. Dismissed without prejudice, so it could be refiled. This is like the emergency removal proceeding, a fake storyline. They may file something to provide a quote-unquote kernel of truth, like the Miami lawyer did with the phony fictive kid motion, such as some motion. So look, this is such a bullshit thing. Look, he's like, that was a fake storyline. Well, yeah, there may have been litigation, which would make it real, by the way, right? If somebody is going out and they're filing litigation and you're talking about someone filing litigation, that's real, right? So, I mean, look at this little weird dance. It's such a bizarre thing. It's just like him telling you, well, that could be real, like there's a kernel of truth. Oh my God. But it'd be to provide that kernel of truth to the storyline, not because it has any basis in law. And then look at the butthurt here. Megan Fox will continue to promote it and her plan to cover it live because it creates suspense. What a moron. Oh my God. So he also, he followed this up too. And it just he can't stop himself. He actually cannot stop himself. So give me a second here. He followed that up with a post with a Google Drive. Also, let me warn you folks out there. When you're clicking on Google Drives, all right, if somebody's posting links, and I'm not saying this person is, by the way, I'm just going to give you a warning on this. When you click on that, you have no idea what it's directing you to. Yes, it is a Google Drive, it says, but you don't know if it has trackers on it or anything else. I mean, like, for example, Dropbox. One of the things I did with litigation with something is I wanted to know if a lawyer had actually looked at an item, because this lawyer and a witness kept saying that they looked at all this stuff. Well, they lied. How did I know they lied? Because when you send out a link to, say, a Dropbox, it tells you everyone that has accessed it. You can actually look and you can tell when something's accessed. Now, it doesn't get as detailed as certain programs could, but certain programs could track your IP address. They could do anything. So you'd be very cautious about clicking any link. And I'm not saying this person is doing that whatsoever. I'm just saying, do you feel trustworthy when you see certain people dropping links? If your answer is no, don't click them, okay? Let's just say that. But it goes with, there's no basis for any sanctions following the voluntary dismissal of the thumbnail lawsuit. The law and rule 1.420 is clear. The story of pursuing sanctions is contrived for content. I love, like he says this, by the way, because there's a chance they're going to get hit with sanctions because of it. Everything he does like this is wrong. So anyway, that was yesterday, right? So today, Larry follows up. Larry's actually started talking again, and I love it. Larry, can't you see? Oh my God, I love this. So he put this up here. Let me pull this up. Give me 1 minute. I'm straightening it out here. So this is off of yonder Twitter. The wonders of Twitter. Wonder Twin powers activate. So AI overview. So Larry says, I'm just going to leave this here for those in doubt. So AI overview, talking about safe harbor laws, right? Florida's safe harbor law, section 57.105 of the Florida statutes gives parties how many days? How many days do you see right there? 21. They have 21 days to voluntarily dismiss unfounded claims without facing sanctions. Let's read that one more time just to make sure we're drinking that in right, yeah? Florida's safe harbor law, section 57.105 of the Florida statutes gives parties 21 days. 21, Bruce. I know you're a little slow on the uptake, so I just slowed it down. If I slow it down much more, I'll be speaking backwards. This law is intended to discourage baseless claims and unnecessary litigation costs. So how does this work? Now, again, this is just an overview, right? That's all we're looking at here. It's just an AI overview. You can pursue all of the intricacies of that. It's interesting, the thing that Bruce was pointing out, too. It's actually quite fun to read over, too. I pulled that up. I'll look at that in a minute, too. So how this works, a party serves a motion for sanctions to the other party. Okay. The other party has 21 days to withdraw their claim or defense. If the party withdraws or corrects the issue, the motion is not filed and the party is not subject to sanctions. If the other party does not withdraw, if they do not within the 21-day line, or correct that, the matter proceeds and the party may be sanctioned. So now, do we know that they will get hit with sanctions? No, we don't know. That is contingent on a judge's decisions. But money was indeed spent on this frivolous litigation. And it's funny, actually, in a brand new filing, BBB actually complains about frivolous filings. He calls the federal litigation, he calls that a frivolous filing. And yet, by the way, let me give some love to ye yonder old Max Lab. Let me give you some love. He actually sent over some stuff. There are about 5 people that send things, and those 5 people, I don't know. Some of them have been like, I know 3 of them do not want their names out there, and that is totally understandable and justified. So I'm giving you all love. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you do. One of you especially, yeah, you definitely know what I'm talking about. One of the other ones went back and forth with it. Right now they're on that. Probably not, because they've seen, here's the issue. These people have seen how these crazies react and how they target anybody that actually brings something up. So a lot of people don't want to be noted. One person, though, that I do want to give love to, they do not care if you note that, is Max Lab. Love to you, brother. I appreciate, like I said, I can't keep up with every thread that's going on out there. There's so much of it. So thank you for that. But what happens if sanctions are awarded? Well, the court may award attorney fees. The court may determine if other party or the lawyer must pay the sanctions. Now, what'll be interesting is noting to a judge, one of the things that needs to be noted, because we have a lawyer that keeps threatening to file and threatening to file and threatening to file and threatening to file. You know how that is. I mean, I digress, but you know how that goes. They keep doing that over and over again. Yeah. So there's actually the section that he's noting, by the way, the dismissal of actions too. Let's pull that up for just a second as well. I mean, that would be curious, right? If there was something about money in there, right? So this is a dismissal of actions. 1.420. This is what it keeps referring to. Now, if you look through it, voluntarily dismissed, involuntarily. With voluntary dismissal, first of all, I'm just going to note like the part. This is by parties. Accepting claims in which property has been seized or in the custody of court, an action, claim, etc., may be dismissed without order of court by trial, before trial by serving, or during trial by stating on the record a notice of dismissal at any time. Right? It just notes, hey, at any time, whatever, before retirement of a jury, by filing stipulation of dismissal, unless stated, notice of stipulation, dismissal is without prejudice. So again, noting it's without prejudice, of course, unless they note that it is with prejudice, it is noted without prejudice. So that means you can file again. Except that the notice of dismissal operates on the merits when served by a plaintiff who is once dismissed in a court action, blah blah blah. Right? Okay. So I mean, again, I'm noticing. I'm noting that. Now you have all this other stuff here, right? Now you'll notice there's a little section in here. You see it's A, B, C, D, costs. You see that right there? Costs. Now, the cost, it says, costs in any action dismissed under this rule shall be assessed, and judgment for cost entered in that action once the action is concluded as to the parties seeking taxation of costs. Now, just listen to this. This is what he is referring to himself. He's saying, this says that you can't come after me for sanctions. Just listen to it, okay? When one or more other claims remains pending following dismissal of any claim under this rule, taxable costs attributable solely to the dismissed claim may be assessed, and the judgment for cost in that claim entered in the action, but only when all claims are resolved at the trial court level as the party seeking taxation of costs. Now, this is not saying you have to win something. This is saying once all this garbage is done, once you have a party dropping this mother off, then you can ask for it. If a party who has once dismissed a claim in any court of this state commences an action based upon or including the same claim against the same party, the court shall make such an order for the payment of the cost of the claim previously dismissed. So you bring it again, they can hit you twice for it too. That doesn't say, hey, you're not on the hook if you just drop this sucker off. Remember, the 21-day thing, that's something that has been brought up again and again. And it has been much longer. And Larry was actually, he was actually very clear about this too. He actually said, point blank, that if you do this, if you pursue me with this, then, I'm going to counterfile against you. I definitely will. He told him in a video, he said, if you drop this now, no harm, no foul. And he made it pretty clear, right? He was very nice about it too. While Bruce is out there barking orders, telling everybody and their mother that they're going to do this, that, and the other, Larry was pretty damn nice about it. Instead, remember, not only do you have that, but you also have, again, on top of this, you not only had that. Why would Larry be motivated to be like, well, remember on top of that, you had BBB open up a letter. Or write an open letter. I said open up a letter. Well, it is an open letter. But he wrote, remember all this mess. And I'm not going to read this to you. We've already seen this before. But there are certain parts of it where he's talking a lot of smack. And on there too, he's telling Larry that he should cover this. See, this is the weirdest thing about this. Remember, He's saying that if you use my client's picture in a thumbnail or you talk about my client, I'm going to sue you. Yet he's also saying you're a legal or a YouTube legal expert. You cover the story in a one-sided way. So don't you owe it to at least give your legal expert views on the federal case? He's saying cover, baby, cover. So he's telling you right off the bat, all these claims, it's vexatious. It's nasty bullshit. He's admitting he wants coverage. He wants it from Larry. He said it over and over again. He also, interestingly enough, quotes our side, their side, our side. So he has sides in it. And again, he throws fits about things. He threw fits. Again, look at, like, there's a couple of paragraphs. Why would Larry be motivated? I believe you can neither settle the thumbnails case nor cover the story as a serious legal analyst without being seen as a turncoat by other YouTubers we know of and the big guy himself. I love that. Larry would be one person if in any way any of this were true, which it's not. Larry's Larry. He has his own opinions. His opinions, by the way, he is open to discourse. He will argue, and I like that about him. He is a lawyer. Lawyers, by their nature, argue. And he will argue his point. But you know what else? He's receptive to hearing something. He is 100%. He has been receptive to actually a back and forth commentary. That's one of the things I like about Larry. Again, he has that kind of just hits you out of nowhere. I don't want to call it a dry sense of humor. It's just so matter of fact. I really love that. But on top of that, like I said, he listens to stuff. But one of the things he wouldn't care about is being seen as a turncoat, even if that were true. If he thought something were right, he would note that. He's not the kind of person that would just mince words. Again, he said stuff with some other, let's just say, other items where people were mad about it. And didn't care. That's what he thought. He threw fits about it too, the settling thing. He actually throws fits about it. He also says he's under attack all the time. Remember, everything we say apparently is an attack on him. All the attacks against me by Fox Talk, Shizzy, yourself, everyone. You can't hurt me. You never have. That's a nice admission. I'll keep that. So when he says he would sue us, by the way, because we're doing well, he's told us we're not hurting his practice or anything. That's good. That's good. Don't want to hurt anybody's practice. They do it to themselves. But then he noted at the end of this, we'll give you another opportunity, which you don't deserve, to settle by removing the images of Miss Preston from your thumbnails. If so, you have public proof of Miss Preston's release of claim. They already released claims. They dropped it. Again, they could file it again, but they already dropped it. And they're looking at, you can see them threatening to open this stuff up again and again. I mean, this is the epitome of vexatious litigation. A lot of bluster, a lot of talk, but not going to face sanctions, right? Okay. Now, along with this, we've had a couple of, we've actually had a few things happen in the last few days. They've been entertaining. Now, we got an order with one, a shot down. And the shot down was actually pretty funny because the judge wrecks his argument. And I feel like we're speed running denials. Like, it's weird. Before I even had time to get over to this, we had already had an order come in. Denied, baby. Denied. Where he wanted to transfer the motion, which, again, we have not even gotten a chance to look at yet. So let's look at that. Let's actually look at what got shot down. The judge, he absolutely wrecks him. And then, on top of that, today, let's just note this too. I'm setting this up real quick. But also, on top of that, we had another thing happen. I swear, man. This dude. Give me a second here. He also, the mandatory mediation. So he filed something else. Now look at this. I'm just going to note this, so we'll get around to everything. But he also, today, he requested to excuse mandatory mediation. Now this is funny, and I'm going to note this since it's already out there. He comes up with all this crazy conspiracy about, he talks about vexatious litigation. It's all kind of interesting. But one thing that really interested me in this judge has wanted these people to communicate. He's made it very clear, right? He's made it very clear. He wants communication, phone calls. He wants them talking. The judge doesn't want to have to be a nanny in this. And what's BBB doing? BBB's like, oh, well, we want our mandatory mediation. We want that excuse. Huh. Fascinating. Oh, so much goodness, isn't it? It's so good. So let's look, though. Let's look at this filing here. Give me 1 second. My God, I've got a lot of stuff open. Give me 1 minute. I got to close a couple of things. There is way too much crap open here. Just give me a second here. Got like a million things open. Well, there's been so many filings as of late. And I mean, that's good. Like, again, drowning in content, which is awesome. But, yeah, well, like people are like, yeah, but he's not going to talk. Well, BBB's not going to talk. Of course, he's telling you he doesn't plan on doing any of that. But even if he doesn't plan on doing it, the judge wants the attempt. The judge wants you to pretend. You pretend to play nice. You know, again, they're supposed to be professionals, right? This is supposed to be, regardless of how Jeremy Hales or Lynette or John Cook or, you know, anyone involved, how they see this, the people that are at the helm of this are supposed to be professionals. Professional, you know? And as professionals, they are supposed to go in and listen to a judge when he says certain things. There's certain things that the judge conveys. One thing the judge has conveyed is he does not like this this entrenched BS. And you have to remember that in one of BBB's own filings already, he's made it clear that he hung up on Randy. He filed in there where Randy was talking about him screaming at him and more. You've seen the email communications. The judge wants communication, though. He wants them to work out things because he doesn't want to have to deal with this. He doesn't want to have to be nanny judge every single thing. So the judge is not going to take things well. He also isn't going to take well some of the items that BBB has thrown in there, too. You know, this whole YouTube conspiracy nonsense. I mean, it's just, there's so much. All right, so let's pull this up here. Mark it. Let's see. All right, so this was the motion that got shot down. The motion to transfer. And it's funny because what's going to get shot? Actually, let's read the order first. You know what? Let's read the shot down, and then we'll read what he tried to go with. So you understand like how awful this was. Okay. I think that's actually a better way of doing it because you can see the judge's statement first. I think that's a better way to go. Don't you? Give me 1 minute. I think that's funny because again, the judge made it clear. The judge has made a lot of things clear too. I'm closing some screenshots. Just give me a second. I got like 15 open across my computer. By the way, there are close to 4K people. And tonight, I know, again, I want to note this. I put Megan at first was for sure going to be able to be here. Then, you know, there's a lot going on, let's just say, you know, without getting into it, there's a lot with going for Jeff's funeral. And I mean, There's been sickness going around, everything. So, I mean, there's a lot. So Megan said that if she can, you know, she will, but she had a lot weighing on her, and you could tell. So if she gets here, she gets here. If she doesn't, it is totally understandable. Like, give her some love. Like I said, you know, she did. I mean, that's a rough time. You know, Jeff was a friend to a lot of us, but they were very, very close. I'd gotten to where I was closer with Jeff, for sure. I still, like I said, I'm not going to the thing. I still text his account. I haven't gotten past that. Give me a second here. Oh, let me grab something. I still actually text his other account. Oh, you know, because I was used to it. It's like, it's not where it's so bizarre. It's a weird thing. So anyway, I'm sidetracking myself. I don't mean to do that. I just want to say, you know, there's a lot going on there, and love to everybody that's going and saying farewell to Jeff. He's definitely missed. All right, let's do this here. So the order. This is what the judge had to say about it, and then we'll look at the document. The document would be number 54. If you ever look at documents and you look at the filings, they come with numbers, and this is actually something that I do enjoy because if you're wondering what something is over, you can always look up what document number the filing. And remember, all this stuff is a public case. You may not be able to pull up everything for free, but you can pull up anything and you can readily find it. There's a lot of people that post this stuff. So if you want to find any filing out there, I encourage you to look at it on your own. You do not have to take my word for it or anyone else. You look at cases. I'm allowed to have my own opinion, and so are you. But always do your own research. Always look at the evidence, look at what's there. And these people that want to play the whole, oh man, you don't know what you're doing because you're not a lawyer. I'll tell you what, you look at enough cases and you'll start to understand. You may not be one of the people that can go and get paid because you can't tell me every legal statute somewhere. But guess what? Neither can many of these lawyers. They have no idea what they're talking about either. I mean, look at BBB, for example. Look at how many times this man has been shot down. His bragging point these days has been, well, I delayed it. So you can do just as well. But my point in that is, look all of this stuff up and make sure that you have it available for yourself too. But anyway, let's go. So here's the order. This matter is before the court on defendant's motion to transfer pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1404A. No response by plaintiff is necessary. So the judge is filing. He's already responding, saying the plaintiff, Jeremy Hale's counsel, Randy, they don't even need to file on this. I've already decided. Isn't that something? You know, this is I was trying to keep up with the denial count, by the way, and I can't remember if we're on 6 or 7 in a row. You know, and when I say that, I'm not talking about every filing. I'm talking about he got shot down. Remember, he got shot down 3 times in that one day. He got shot down in footnotes with one of them. He got shot down another 2 in another day. And then I can't remember if there was another one right on top of that, and this would make this 7 in a row. Or, I mean, I'm talking about like in a little bitty gap. You know, as far as denials where he's been hit by a lot of them. And you know, one of the problems, and I hope MP understands this too, every single one of these, time is money, baby. Even if there's no filing, the lawyers there, they have to dedicate time, and their time is money. They don't do this for free, nor should they. They don't have to. You know, good ones can get paid. Other ones, well, they try to. Anyway, I'm just going to leave that statement in there. But no response necessary. In this motion, defendant asks the court to transfer this case to the Gainesville Division. There is no merit to that request because, as reflected in the case caption above, this case is already in the Gainesville Division and has been since the day it was filed. Like, drink that in again, okay? And we'll read this, but this is, I mean, you talk about getting wrecked here. This is a wrecking freaking ball. It's like the defendant asked to transfer to the Gainesville division. Well, guess what? There's no merit because we're already there. You got to admit, that's amazing. Oh my God. The judge is like, dude, are you kidding me? Holy crap. What's up, Ricardo Low? Mr. Boxing. I love it, dude. I love it. I hope you're doing well, my man, by the way. I hope everything in life is treating you fabulously. I hope 2025 is kicking it good for you, my friend. And man, you need to enjoy some of these, because this stuff is like a fun infusion. This case is. It really is. It is a fun infusion. If there's a trial in this matter, then it will be held in the federal courthouse in Gainesville with the undersigned presiding. It says, pre-trial hearing will not necessarily occur in Gainesville, nor does any party have a right to have a hearing or even a trial held in a particular division within the judicial court. See United States versus, where it's recognizing that, quote, there's no constitutional right to a trial within a division of the judicial district. The court will, however, consider holding pre-trial hearings in Gainesville. Talking about, as far as anything pre-trial, they may actually do that. And here's the rest of that footnote. Actually, the rest of the footnote says, upon request of the parties. So it's saying if you want to have pre-trial items, you can make requests, and the court will consider doing this, specific ways. And the court actually was very open. There's more of this, but remember, the court was actually very open to doing things, I'm going to say, in ways that I frankly was shocked about. I mean, you think about this. Have you ever seen a judge have to set in for depo? Has to set in because the person that is sitting across from the plaintiff isn't just a lawyer, but potentially is going to be added to litigation. The judge was allowing Zoom calls, was allowing all kinds of stuff, but BBB actually made a mess of that. So let's continue with the denial here. Let's keep going. Oh, man. Oh, no. Does the P-Diddles trial come with complimentary baby oil? That's awful. Gross. Now, although the undersigned chambers may be in Pensacola, judges in the North District of Florida are assigned civil cases district-wide. He doesn't even understand how judges work here. You want to talk about God. Like, you want to talk about somebody that is out of their league. They don't even understand the basics about how the court here functions. This has to be described by the judge in an order. Like, you think about that. That's pretty jacked up when a judge is like, yeah, even though I have an office, I have a chambers, and it's in a certain area, well, you get them district-wide. And again, you could just look up how judges are assigned federal cases in Florida. You would have found this. I saw people posting AI descriptions and saying, yo, dude, this is a stupid filing. And what did he do with this, by the way? Remember, while all this is coming up, he was so proud of it. He was sitting over on 2L's channel. And remember, he was having his little fit in the commentary. He was talking about, let's give me 1 second here. He has so many places where he talks about this. So here, check this out. Remember, while people are like, hey, dude, this is a mess. He's sitting out there and he's like, oh, get the file stamped copy from the email. Show the correct document. Show it. Show my document, baby. I'm so smart in the courts. I emailed you the file copy. Oh, I got it. Use it. I also wonder, when they were showing a copy, what's fascinating about that? Upon reflection of what he's saying here, do you get the feeling that they were showing the wrong copy of the file? They're showing the wrong one. So he not only wants the attention from it, but they had access to it. Looks like a drafted version, maybe. They were actually showing the wrong version of said file. That's how that reads, does it not? Isn't that interesting? So, they're totally not PR, and they're totally not working together. It's just like, show the right one. Isn't that strange? Isn't that fascinating? And isn't that funny? I mean, again, shaking that little fist. I emailed you. Do it. Do it. Do it. And then, meanwhile, again, while people are like, oh, Lisa, she's been crying. She's upset. People are bringing up all of this stuff about scamming. It's not stopping, Lisa. And Bruce is like, who cares? He's like, read my document. Read the right one, stupids. Fetch a document. Fetch it. I'm not putting the dog mask on back in yet. Like, wait a minute. Who's fetching? Anyway, let's go back to the document. My bad. Oh, my God. I love this stuff. I do. Yeah, you see why. Again, like I said, I do not wish court hearings on anyone. This stuff is a massive inconvenience. It's a pain in yonder buttocks. But at the same time, the entertainment where you have a moron. That's why when people were like, oh, Bruce, if he gets removed, if he gets added as a co-conspirator, oh my God, he might not be able to be canceled. I was like, is that actually that would be a win for them, wouldn't it? I'm to the point where I think, well, maybe, again, I very well believe he should be added as a co-conspirator. I very much believe that. But at the same time, I'm like, wait a minute, is him actually being added? Is that a John L? Yes. But is that a W2? Well, I mean, you decide. Never thought I would say that, but that is amazing, isn't it? Oh my God, I love this. Okay, so as the standing case assignment order reflects, the undersigned is assigned to 25% of all civil cases filed in the Gainesville division. And this case is one of the 25%. So the judge has to, again, this is just basic shit. The way the court system functions, they have to explain that to this man. For this reason, it's denied. Defendant's motion indicates that plaintiff's counsel has refused to confer over the telephone in an effort to narrow issues raised in a pending motion to compel. That better not be the case. See, the judge is like, now here's the other own too, okay? This is a beautiful thing that I love. That better not be the case, considering that the court has specifically ordered counsel to confer by telephone regarding the issues raised. Okay, so this right here, you read that. Oh, the court is saying, again, we're going to read that filing that brought this. But remember, with the new filing, the judge is like, you guys better be communicating. None of you better be acting up. You better talk. You better be doing what I said. And what does Bruce file? Well, Bruce files, hey, Judge, can we not confer? Can we not have mandatory mediation? Again, you see that? Here, let me put this up in front of you. while I read that. Remember, he's wanting to excuse mandatory mediation. And again, these are accusations saying, oh, he's not doing that. But the judge is like, defendants stating that the plaintiff's counsel won't talk on the phone to narrow issues raised in a pending motion to compel. That better not be the case, considering the court has specifically ordered counsel to confer. Specifically ordered to confer telephonically or in person. So the judge is saying, you guys better talk to one another. Oh, by the way, Judge, I don't want to have to do that mandatory communication stuff. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Because what BBB is showcasing here is that he doesn't want to communicate. He's doing his damnedest to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now let's look at the filing that led to that yonder mess. Oh, I love it. You got to admit, like, that's pretty fucking. Again, let me see. Give me 1 second here. Gotta find somebody. So I'm going to hit up my on-the-ground reporter and see exactly what they have to say about that. So, on-the-ground reporter, what do you have to say? Are you not entertained? I am entertained. Thank you. Oh my goodness. The Gainesville Aviator or something. I don't know. Otter Creek boy. You know what's funny about this too? I was thinking about it with Gladiator, pulling that up. You got a guy that has like a wildlife and all kinds of stuff going after Jeremy. They were talking about feeding him to gators. I mean, it kind of does fit. He's out there. He's like, yeah, bring it on, baby. I'm the Gladiator. He's got to fight off the wildlife. He's got to fight the little people in the walls. You watch out for those little people, Jeremy. They're the beast. I watched that show, The Littles. It was a cartoon back in the day. Little people living in the wall. Those little things are mischievous. I tell you what. Don't let them come for you. Oh my Lord. Okay, let's pull this up. Okay. I got that on my system for a minute. Okay, so this is the filing that triggered the judge to saying, yo, what? So this was the motion to transfer. The defendants, Element OP, Lynette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis, Preston, and John Cook, pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1404A, to transfer further proceedings in the action of Gainesville Federal Court on the grounds it's not convenient, Bubbas. This case was filed in the Gainesville Division, which covers Levy County, where all parties and in-state witnesses reside, but the proceedings were assigned to Pensacola, the furthest location in the North District from Levy County. And again, the court's like, you don't know how this works. Again, no, the answer is very beautiful. Gainesville was the plaintiff's chosen forum, but he nevertheless refused to consent to a motion to transfer proceedings there under 28 U.S.C. 1404B, exploiting the inconvenience of Pensacola for his opponents and forcing the defendant to file a motion under 1404A, advance the plaintiff's stated purpose for litigating. A lawsuit isn't to win a lawsuit. It's to make you spend all your money on a lawyer and bankrupt you. That's what the win is. I could care less if I win in court. If I win in court, my goal is to make sure you have no money. That is the goal of a lawsuit, huh? Bruce doesn't like statements like that, huh? Well, that's fascinating, considering His client has made some pretty nasty statements about driving his business underground. It would be bad if people were making statements like that, wouldn't it, Bruce? Wouldn't it, Bruce? It'd be a damn shame if people were creating ecosystems to destroy people and to try to bankrupt them and more, wouldn't it, Bruce? That would be a damn shame. It'd be horrific if they were, say, sitting in chats, pushing PR to go in and to attack. Wouldn't it, Bruce? That'd be a damn weird shame. And it'd be a weird shame if somebody was filing vexatious litigation, going after everything, including the kitchen sink, anything that disagrees. Oh, the water dripped a little too weird. You're sued, baby. Thumbnail litigation. Trespass 5. Plus, I mean, it'd be really weird, wouldn't it? That somebody's just throwing around litigation like fucking Oprah Winfrey reaching into their bag of presents. You'll get a lawsuit. You'll get a lawsuit. I mean, it's so ridiculous, right? That'd be horrible. If somebody was so nasty about lawsuits, again, the goal of a lawsuit is make sure they don't have any money. Yeah, lawfare would be really nasty. It'd be crazy if somebody not only went after law enforcement, but they went after folks for, I don't know, moving a property for somebody living on a place that has every right to retrieve their property. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Or going after somebody for covering a case where they're like, hey, why aren't you covering my case? Why don't you cover my case, Larry? Cover my case, Larry. Come on, Larry. Don't you want to cover my case, Larry? Memorandum in support of 28 U.S.C. 1404A states, for the convenience of parties and witnesses, in the interest of justice, a district court may transfer any civil action to any district or division where it might have been brought, or to any district or division to which all parties have consented. The 11th Court explained that in A versus Del Monte, it is by now clear that forum nonconvenience tests used by Florida state courts is identical to the test applied by the federal courts. Indeed, the federal Supreme Court has explicitly adopted federal law of blah, blah, blah. They give you the CR. We are persuaded that the time has come for Florida to adopt the federal doctrine of. Also noted that the Florida Supreme Court has adopted upon both bodies of law. This is appropriate when, number one, the trial court finds that an adequate alternative forum exists which possesses jurisdiction over the whole case, including all the parties. Remember, the judge is like, yeah, you don't know how this works. The trial court finds that all relevant factors of private interest favor the alternative forum, weighing in balance a strong presumption against disturbing plaintiff's initial forum choice. If the balance of public interest is at or near equiposition. Love it. The court, I don't know why that amuses me. That's dumb. The court further finds the factors of public interest tip the balance in favor of trial to the alternate forum, and the trial judge ensures the plaintiffs can reinstate their suit in an alternative forum without undue inconvenience or prejudice. Now, what this sounds like, the judge, another thing in aiming for this is it looks like they wanted the judge gone. See, I don't think they're really happy with this judge right now. I don't think BBB is feeling it. And he shouldn't be, because he's done some really stupid things in this case. Some very, very estupido things. Man, look at that. Ricada boy. By the way, I say these super chats on this too, my friend. I noticed that. You know what? I don't know why I didn't notice his super chats. He was like, yo, he's an OG champ, a true fan. Miss you, homie. Talk soon. Yeah, dude. That's the thing. Like I let me just say something on that too. Look, in my own life, I have had issues way back when. You know, I had my issues. We all do. Whether it's something big, little, whatever, we run into issues there. And I wish nothing but the best for people. I want them to succeed in life. I want everyone I know to succeed. I want them to have their lives and have all the success they can grab. And if people don't like the success someone has, go get more. You know? But yeah, dude, I want you to be able to be back, cover cases, have fun again, and you know, and to really look at the hiccups in life and just put them in the rear view mirror and enjoy life again. You know, enjoy it in a good way. But anyway, love for sure. I also I don't like the idea of giving up on people. I remember, well, let me make one statement on this though too. When I got a fake CPS report the first time, I had no idea what to do with that. It was a frightening proposition. That's why it makes me so mad with these people. And you know, in the Hale's case, talking about fake CPS, I mean, they make statements about abuse happening and all this other shit. Meanwhile, people have horrible shit happen to them just because they talk about cases. So fake case calls do happen, but I had no idea what to do. So back then, I talked to Rick Hale. I was like, "Yo, dude, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. You know, what am I supposed to do with this? This is aimed at my kids, man. I'm worried about it." He not only diffused that situation, because you have no idea what it's like that first time when you face off against an army of crazies. You know, like we see from the ecosystem. You see how crazy these people are. You have no idea what that's like. But not only diffused that and was like, ha, but put me in touch with Ty Beard. And Ty Beard, man, he was like a freaking gladiator stepping into the ring. He was. His attention was 100% on that. He dealt with that with me. He went. He communicated with them. And you know what else? I'll say this here. At the time, my channel was really small. I was like, oh my God, you know, how am I going to afford this kind of stuff? I didn't note that to anybody. I was like, I got to do what I got to do, right? I was like, dude, you know, let me, what do I owe you with this? It was like, no, man, it's all good. That kind of stuff you don't forget, man. You don't forget with people. So I remember that. Anyway, I know I got off track there, but when people bring up stuff and they're like, "Oh, have you denounced this?" No, I didn't. If that lessens you in some way, and you know, if that lessens me in your mind in some way, because I want people to have positive people around them and to be in their corner and never give up on them, then you know, if you were my friend, though, I would treat you that way too. So anyway, continue. So in order to be available, the foreign court must be able to assert jurisdiction over the litigation sought to be transferred. There is no issue as to Gainesville being available and able to assert jurisdiction. It already had jurisdiction. So again, with this, you see this here. There's no problem with Gainesville asserting jurisdiction, because they already had jurisdiction. And the judge was like, yeah, remember again, the judge, his answer to this, I love this, man. Look, here it is, his answer. Check this out. Just drink that into your brain. All right. It was already, they had it. And the court is like, had it? What do you mean had? like what does that mean at all? had, there's no merit because the case is already in Gainesville and has been there since the day it was filed. So again, the whole argument he's making is the judge has to be sitting there like, my God, I've seen people make less of a mess pro se. I really have. Going out and defending yourself against litigation, I have seen people go out and make less of a mess. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? I say, as for adequacy, we have observed that it is only in rare circumstances where the remedy offered by other forum is clearly unsatisfactory, and that alternative forum may be regarded as inadequate. And they note, C, the alternative forum prong of the analysis generally will satisfy when the defendant is amenable to the process of other process and other jurisdiction. There is no issue as to the adequacy of the Gainesville courthouse. So then, in Gulf Oil, again, I love this because of how fast Randy doesn't even have to respond to this document. Remember when we were looking at it. In this, the Supreme Court outlined the relevant public and private interest factors. Considering the private interest, the court listed important considerations are the relative ease and access, source of proof, availability of compulsory process for attendance of unwilling, the cost of obtaining attendance of willing, the witnesses, possibility of view, premises, if the view would be appropriate to the action, and all other practical problems to make the trial of case easy, blah, 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 inexpensive, da-da-da-da-da. You get the idea there. All right. The private interest factors being so heavily in favor of transfer, there is no consideration necessary of the public interest factors. It is only when private interest factors are at or near equal pose that a district court is obliged to consider the public interest at stake in a suit. In any event, there is no public interest in this matter continuing to proceed in Pensacola, let alone one that overrides the private considerations, the accessibility to the court, the parties, and witnesses. So what he could have done, again, what he's trying to say here is it's very expensive for people to get to the courthouse. Now, again, everybody was okay with Zoom before. You remember that? BBB was actually doing his portion of this from Zoom. The only reason that changed is because BBB, after Jeremy Hales had his depo, threw such a shit fit that the judge had to actually sit down and become part of this. I mean, can you imagine? Like again, you have a guy over here. The judge is like, yo, you're asking questions that have nothing to do with this. Essentially, again, I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially the judge is like, don't gaslight this guy. Of course, Jeremy Hales would be hostile to this. I mean, look at what you're doing here. So he made them come to the court. He made them. Before that, BBB was able to do. He wasn't even according to Jeremy when he talked about BBB at Char's depot. He wasn't even on the screen, which is bizarre, by the way. It's actually very bizarre to find that out. But he left. He treated it like it was a non-factor. While admitting, of course, which is fascinating considering that's another screw up too, considering he admits that the stuff that Shara is discussing is real. Just remember that. Remember the ecosystem said that the reason you shouldn't pay attention to Shara, at first it was like, oh, everything, oh no, that's all privilege. Then it was, that's all fake. It's all AI. None of that's real. Now it's actually, that's doxing of messages and emails. She was talking with you as a friend, not as a journalist, which she's a journalist. But you think about that. But BBB has been given a lot of slack there. I mean, maybe MP, maybe when you're looking at this, maybe you should want your counsel to be there, because your counsel, when left to their own devices, wandered off during the middle of deposing someone, and a very important person, I might add. Like, Shara has a lot of stuff. And what that seems to say to me, when I look at that, is that they have no argument to shoot this stuff down. If you're treating it like it's not going to do damage, and there's proof. Again, the witness intimidation angle, the threats, all of that, you don't want to stick around for it. It ain't good. I think I would want them to be there all the time. I would be pissed off. But anyway, finally, there's no issue with respect to being able to reinstitute the case, because transferal would not be a dismissal. Every factor for intra-district transfer favors Gainesville to Gainesville. They're like, we are in Gainesville, idiots. The decision of North District Court of Florida versus and Combs v. thoroughly discusses this. So they go over. Again, this is all one case. I don't want to read every freaking filing with that. I mean, you see, if you want to read every argument that they throw down, I'm just showing you the ineptitude of this. It's so proud of it too. He was so proud of the ineptitude. But he sits down, makes this argument. Who knows what he's saying that this stuff costs too? When it comes up, I wonder what his noted bill would be. And people can say, "Oh, well, he's doing this for free." No, he's gonna part of the plan here in any of this is, maybe we can get a win or a settlement. And if we do that, because it's just so expensive, if we can get them to settle, get money. Or if you win, maybe I can get my fees for my time. So he's trying to get paid on the back end. He is. That's what he's going to do, because that's just part of it. Everybody knows how that works. So I wonder what he's trying to say, that these useless fucking items like this actually are worth. I wonder. He's like, $1 billion. So let me change avatars for that. Let's see. How much do you think that's worth? Well, let me see. $1 million. Oh my God. To the extent they are relevant to the particular case, courts typically consider at least the following public and private factors: convenience, witnesses, location of relevant documents. Of documents, the location, you can find them all online. Where are they located? Everything's there. I realize you're like talking about, this particular courthouse. Well, where else are your documents? Relative ease of access, the sources of proof, the convenience of the parties, so operating facts, the availability of process to compel the attendance of unwilling witnesses, the relative means of the parties, a form's familiarity with the governing law, the weight accorded to a plaintiff's choice of forum, and trial efficiency in the interest of justice based on the totality of the circumstances. That goes through every one of these arguments, right? Convenience of witnesses, right? This is a question I had too. What do you think a court's going to think about this? You see something here that's very strange? You notice this glaring mess that he left in this document? Like, have you ever seen somebody filing documentation, changing up the color structure? There are very specific rules to doing things. And one of these rules that you don't see people messing around with. He's already messing with fucking font. Remember square bullet points? Well, look at this. Red ink. I feel like I'm in somebody's shitty undergrad. I said undergrad class. I remember this one professor that was so full of themselves. I taught APA style for a while, and with that, one of the professors, there was this older lady that just, maybe back in the day she was a good professor, but she definitely wasn't when I ran across her. And she would do stuff like this. And what was really bad about it is anytime she would do something like this to students, you'd have to wonder if it was right or not. It reminds me of BBB. But look in here. Look at the way he's trying to emphasize. Because listen, I'm just going to hit this part right here. Because witnesses typically are essential to establish a claim or a defense, and they frequently have nothing to gain from testifying. Courts carefully consider the convenience of witnesses in analyzing a motion to transfer. And this is him again. Indeed, various courts have identified the convenience of the witness as the most important factor in Section 404A analysis. So instead of emphasis added or noting, boldface, whatever, he decides, hey, I'm going to put this in red. Isn't that a mess? Holy McNuggets, man. They're noting, too. Here's the witnesses. So this was interesting. All of the Florida listed witnesses in the plaintiff's initial disclosure reside in one of the following towns in Levy County. Otter Creek, we have 7 witnesses from Otter Creek. Trenton, we have 5 witnesses. Bronson, we have 2 witnesses. Chiefland, we have 3 witnesses. And Gainesville, we have 2 witnesses. That's interesting. Get our breakdown. The custodian of record of Levy County is also listed. No in-state witnesses are listed with addresses anywhere within 5 hours of Pensacola. All Levy County witnesses live less than 1 hour from Gainesville. And then they note, of course, they include people like David Helm, who's from Michigan. Of the remaining witnesses listed in the plaintiff's initial disclosures, the few with listed addresses are from out of state. None of the 52 witnesses listed have addresses anywhere near the proximity to Pensacola. The undersigned email one of the plaintiff's witnesses, Shara, specifically to inquire which location would be more convenient as an out-of-state witness. And Miss Wolf's response was, isn't Gainesville most convenient? Seems so. So they tried to use Shara in this too. Isn't that funny? They're like, I'm sure Shara would be like, don't quote me, piece of garbage. Don't quote me at all, loser. So convenience of parties. You talk about convenience again? Making the argument. Look at this too. Look at the description that they try to go with. The parties themselves are the same geographic disparity between Pensacola and Gainesville. The defendants are extremely limited means. Maybe there should be questions. We have one Miss Weeks. I wonder how much money has actually been gained for these people with extremely limited means. I wonder how much funding has happened behind the scenes. How much money they've actually had pumped into bank accounts. That would be a fascinating discussion, wouldn't it? And care for a special needs child for whom traveling would be especially detrimental and whose care requires her mother's constant personal attention. What? Are you kidding? So you get sued. Here's the thing. I recently, again, I had personal litigation and talked about. And one of the things the courts don't really care about is the fact that you have things going on in your life. They don't care. They will sometimes make exception, like something's coming up, but if the court decides to say file on a birthday or file on doctor appointments, you may get one or two moved, but the court is there assuming that you're going to get your shit taken care of. If you have if you have issues, here's one of the things too, I think they're going to run into a real problem with. If the court allows them to do Zoom and they pull another depo like they did the last time with the kid in the background and people going in and out, talking, and doing all this other stuff, might have a real problem there. Might have a real problem. So they're effectively precluded from attending and following the very court proceedings in which they're named as defendants. The defendant wished to attend the depo of the plaintiff on December 19th, but couldn't. They could have. Actually, here's the thing. The deposition that happened, I'm sure that they would have been at first allowed to Zoom in. They probably could have done that. They could have asked the court. But what happened? BBB pushed it. BBB wanted to whine and whinge and complain. So, as far as the depo of Jeremy Hales, remember that added deposition, you remember how that went. That was because of BBB. Totally. 100%. He caused the in-person to transpire. That wasn't somebody else that did that. He did that himself. So it's fascinating. On the back end of this, he's like, oh, well, they can't attend. Well, who the fuck made it this way, Brucey? For the same reasons, they'd be able to attend any proceeding in Pensacola. If the case reaches trial, it would impose tremendous hardship. If we're going to trial, reminds me of that, remember that song, Take That Shit to Trial, man. Take that shit to trial. I remember that song. That's good. If it reaches trial, it would impose tremendous hardship and financial burden. And they can do it. That's what he's saying. Look at this, too. He also goes into size. Gainesville is 3 times larger than Pensacola. Oh, my God, man. The self-own in this is amazing. The location of operative facts, again, going through all of the items through this. I'm not going to read you every page. I don't see any point in going through every page to this because, again, it got shot down. None of the witnesses listed in plaintiff's initial disclosures could be compelled to travel and attend trial in Pensacola because all live more than 100 miles away. Nor could they be commanded to appear merely because they reside in the state of Florida, as it would cause witnesses to incur substantial expense, travel 5 hours, stay overnight, etc. Again, who's been forcing that? Who has indeed? I love it. I love it. Yeah, somebody noted, I don't see this getting this. No, this case, they're already at the point where we're talking about proof, evidence. Remember, we've gotten to the point where you have documentation requests and more. This shit is going to trial. If BBB, if you're telling your client, I hope to God your clients understand that you are going to trial. I hope they are not telling them they're not. The relative means. So they're talking about means. Check this out here. Not only is the financial disparity between the plaintiff and the defendants glaring, But the plaintiff has declared publicly that his purpose in filing this lawsuit is to cause financial burden, not to prevail on its merits. Oh no, he didn't say not to prevail on its merits. That's not what he said at all. Like that statement that they noted, it didn't say anything about, oh, this right here, I don't have proof. Oh, he's got plenty of proof. In fact, their argument for the proof is ridiculous. Remember, their whole sign thing, well, how many people saw it? 3. Can you prove anyone else actually saw that on that busy highway? It's like, are you kidding me? The defendants are indigent. Yeah, well, it's interesting. Again, I think that with this strange money thing that's been going on, I think there are questions about their finances. And travel imposed a disproportionate burden on them and is detrimental for their special needs child. Again, argument all the time. The weight accorded to a plaintiff's choice of forum. They're like, look at this, too. The plaintiff chose Gainesville. The plaintiff did this. It's like, you don't even know where we're at. Familiarity with governing law. Forum's familiarity with governing law. Trial efficiency and the interest of justice. Again, all the factors that would work in there. Oh, it all factors in. He makes the same arguments again about proximity, 5-hour travel, etc., etc. Finally, the defendants would incur a significant obstacle to a fair trial in Pensacola. They're obstacles to a fair trial. What are they? Oh, limited means and distance. They can't have a fair trial because not facts. Nope. It's means, distance, care for, and being able to attend. No waiver of rights. Oh man, we didn't waiver. There's been no waiver whatsoever. Oh my God. This whole argument, oh, it's so amazing. In response to the undersigned's email, plaintiff's counsel adamantly refuses any phone communication. This is where he's talking about them refusing phone communication. I hope Randy decides to put this shit in its place, showing that he is trying to make contact with these people. The yelling and other things. I hope he makes that clear, very clear. Asking if the plaintiff would consent to the motion under that, they wrote, I told you why I object. There's another reason, as it appears the case is still in Gainesville. He told him this. Look, this is why. They're like, he wouldn't even talk to me on the phone. He wrote him, though, and he told him, you know, it's already in Gainesville. Like, this is a problem. You're moving to transfer a case that is still there. So Randy told him, and he files this. Look at this self-own that this is, considering the judge's statement. I love this, by the way. He not only gets wrecked by the judge, but he wrecks himself because Randy told him point blank, hey, man, look, I told you why I object. It appears it's still in Gainesville. You're moving to transfer a case that is already still in Gainesville. You're also doing it not for the purposes of convenience of witnesses, as many witnesses are not going to be from Florida. And it doesn't matter where they fly, to Pensacola or Gainesville. What you're doing is a thinly veiled attempt to remove a magistrate. He put this in writing, where the judge could see it. You are trying to get this magistrate removed. He put that in there. Isn't that amazing? The judge, he got to see it. He could have cut off part of that. He could have been like, this is what he said. But instead, he puts in his own. And on top of that, he's like, dude, you're trying to get them. This would be brought out and fleshed out in detail in our reply, which the judge was like, we don't even need that, along with a move for sanctions and possibly even a court account against you for abuse of process. And the judge was like, we don't even need you to file anything. This is so dumb. But he told him right here. He was like, hey, man. But he also noted, and if the judge wasn't thinking that before, which when I saw this, I thought right off the bat, that's what he's trying to do. Well, that argument was presented to him. So you didn't even have to have him write that out. Isn't that amazing? So the conclusion, here's the conclusion. Every factor weighs clearly and heavily in understanding of transferring all proceedings to Gainesville. Most fundamentally, all the witnesses and parties live 1 hour. Gainesville, and more than 5 hours. He couldn't type this out. He had to use greater than, less than. Are you kidding me? The difference between same day and overnight travel for any and all proceedings. All of the events occurred in Levy County. And there's no connection whatsoever of any of all parties, witnesses, or events to Pensacola. The defendants would be unable to attend. There's no need for a hearing on the motion, as the court could transfer that sua sponte under pro hack vice. Again, not pro hack future, pro hack. I love it. I love it. Here's a question. Let's see. Let me look at something real quick. I wonder. This other document, there's 3 pages of it. Let's look at a little bit of it. I want to read this through all the way, but I want to do it. I want to give it more time. So we'll probably go through all of this tomorrow, but listen to some of this. Okay. This is the newest motion. Like I said, there's so many motions flying around that I don't want to make us sit here for 3 hours going through motions, but God, there's a lot, but I do want to hit this part of this one. I mean, there's the judge again. The judge wrecked that totally. Again, the judge's answer, just to note it in case for some reason you missed it, said, no response by plaintiff is necessary. In the motion, defendant asks for the court to transfer the case to Gainesville. There's no merit to the request because this case is already in Gainesville and has been since the day it was filed. Although the undersigned's chambers may be in Pensacola, judges are assigned district-wide, not limited to particular divisions. The undersigned here, the judge, is assigned 25% of all civil cases. And this is one of the 25%. So that was their answer to that. Again, so dumb. So freaking dumb. Now, where's the other? Let's see. The other motion, though, it's fascinating because the reason he's saying that, check this out. The reason that he wants the mandatory mediation excluded is because, I mean, look at this stuff. These are the same argument. The judge was like, what? The what now? Remember when the judge was like, yeah, I don't really like that. It's the same arguments. They're like, oh, we intend to file our own damages claims and with Preston's minor child. This, by the way, right here will be a major screw up because what this will do, and again, they can file whatever they want. But when it comes up, first of all, we've seen everything that's come from Northport. You've seen all the people that have talked about their concerns. On top of that, you have LP herself in documents that Bruce was nice enough to actually say were legit. Those messages there, he was like, yeah, you're doxing those, Shara, but he was nice enough to say those are legit. And he wants to say, oh man, there's some kind of conspiracy out there. And this, well, yeah, when she herself has said that there are concerns, she stated it. You're going to have real problems with that argument. I mean, her own messages, when you get down to, you should really watch stuff like that. But I mean, what do I know, right? He also brings up, this is the part I really want to hit, but again, you have to understand, like this deserves its own time. But he brings up, he has the audacity to bring up vexatious litigation. He has the audacity to call the federal case vexatious. His complaints, I mean, look, like, what does this have to do? He's sitting on a soapbox. And he's also like, hey, man, they can't afford formal mediation. Well, they've been fundraising the hell out of money. So what's up? So I think we'll go over that. It might actually have, who knows, the way everything else has moved in this, we may have a decision. I actually want to see if we get a decision with this before we actually review and see exactly what's said. Because, you know, it's kind of funny to me how the decisions, they just keep flying in so quickly. But I mean, a judge took a wrecking ball to them. So we'll read through that entire thing. We'll do that tomorrow because we've already hit 2 hours today. Like I said, I try to stick to that 2 hour time frame, hit super chats, redirect. Is Shizzy live today too? Let me check. Shizzy, Mr. Wiznut, are you live today? Give me a minute. Yes, he will be live. So after super chats, I will also be redirecting to Mr. Wiznut. He is going over everything. He's actually covered. If you want to hit it right today, like I said, I want to give it the time I think it merits, and you know, he's giving it all of its time. There's been so much stuff that's come up, though. It's just, again, it's hard to keep. Every day you can have a live stream and talk about the things that are happening, and there's still stuff that's going on. It's wild, isn't it? So I'm going to redirect to Shizzy after Super Chat. I was just making sure he was live. Yep. So Joan started it off with a super sticker. Thank you for that, by the way, Joan. $20 super sticker. That's awesome of you. Appreciate you, Joan. Thank you. Risa, thank you for your membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Rider Chick, thanks for the 8 months there. Woohoo! 8 months of fun, laughing, support, bung and lug. And yes, they are actually tired out from today. We did a little thing called house cleaning today. In which they got to, what's that word? Oh, yeah, clean. So they were like, woo, man. Oh, my gosh. The little one was so funny. So she came to me and she was like, oh, my God, Dad, there's bugs in my room. There's bugs everywhere. It was like, what are you talking about? Bugs everywhere. She had thrown a banana in like a Walmart or a Kroger bag, you know, those little disposable bags. And instead of throwing it where it belongs, she had thrown it behind a nightstand, you know, because she had gotten up and she not only she gotten it, but then just opened it, took one bite and threw it. She was like, wasteful. I'm not going to admit to that. So she'd thrown it and you couldn't even see it. There was a stuffed animal and other stuff. So she was like, there's bugs. And it had gotten, I was like, what in the heck? You know, we've gone through your room. Your room's, you know, pretty much spotless. What's going on? That I was like, oh my gosh. You know, she's so cute though. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're like, oh, she's so cute. She knows she's cute too. She is, but that's funny. Thank you too. My adventures in homebrewing. Thanks for the 10. Breadstick money for tug and square colorful bullet points. There's also, look at the panty hamsters. Panty hamsters, square bullet points for me. Love it. Love those, by the way. It's hilarious. Green veggie bees. Thanks for the 10. We know you like breadsticks, but what about the chocolate? I love the chocolates. I really do like chocolate myself. Yes, I admit. The chocolate likes me way too much too. So I've been trying to avoid some of that. James, thanks for the James at 2012. What's up, man? Thanks for the. I got my Umbrella Girl comics yesterday. Thanks. Love y'all. Thank you there. I mean, again, I think everything should have hit the mail now. So we'll have to do our roundup and see what's what didn't land. Good times. I hope you enjoyed it too. Except 2012, my friend. Cynic in Chief, thanks for the 2. Feigning Goat or BBB's latest denied filing. I wonder, are they one and the same? I mean, really, after you read some of his stuff, do you ever feel like that? Are you ever like, because I feel like that sometimes, don't you? I'm like, oh my Lord. I try to get the slide action in. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious there. Little B, thanks for the super sticker on that. Thank you very much, Little B. Little B. Like it. Thank you. Shelly, thank you for their membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Appreciate you. Thank you. Righted Chick, thanks for the 5 there. Breadstick money to make all the haters mad. All the best, Marissa. Yes, if you missed the Marissa thing, Marissa decided to come over and to talk smack about Megan and how she looked. And I was like, are you kidding me? That happened the other day. It was funny because really the saltiness comes up. They're all like, how dare you breadsticking? I mean, that happens all the time. Like when you see the arguments that these people put up, they're always whinging about breadsticks. And I don't know, it cracks me up. Oh, did you see my mac and cheese, by the way, the other day? I don't know if I didn't show this I haven't been on my channel. I forgot. Check this out, by the way. I have gotten secret pictures of the mac and cheese. Ooh, look at that. He's on his throne. The mac and cheese gods. Oh, look at everybody in the background. They're like, oh, he's manifesting. Oh, no, look, the mac and cheese. It's growing out. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's consuming that. Oh, my gosh. Look. It's consuming the throne. Yeah, it's eating the throne. Your throne is built on mac and cheese and lies. Whoops. Oh my gosh. I love it. What kind of mac and cheese? That's not Gouda. That's not Buddha. That's Gouda. So he's Gouda. They worship the Gouda. So dumb. That's what I was doing. There were people that were like, Tug is video gaming a lot. No, I was taking screenshots the other night with Megan. And while I was sitting there too, I was for some reason making, I was like, I wonder what a mac and cheese cult would look like according to Grok. So I was working on the mac and cheese cult. Right a chick though. Do that for Marissa. Also something for the candy fun. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Bonnie, thanks for the 2. Can we get a denied emoji? Yes, actually, I need to get that. We will work on that. That is a good idea. I'll write that down real quick. All right. That's a good idea there. Green Veggies, thanks for the 10. Never said you were out of shape. Round is a shape. That's true. That is true. I keep telling you, stomping around like Godzilla. Godzilla's got a little bit of that rotunda on him, doesn't he? You know? I mean, if you look at Godzilla, boy, he's he's eating his fair share, right? Oh yeah. All right. LaWanda, what's up, LaWanda? Thanks for the 5 there, Tug. Yeah, Megan, Jeremy Hales, personal Bonnie and Clyde, Free Press journalists. Keep up the great reporting. Actually, this case, it's just like if you look, I've had complaints before. The complaint from media too. They actually complain when you do a very thorough job. You know, mainstreamed. When I was covering like the Heard trial, 4 years of prep before it, covering the aftermath as well, plus the trial, talked about the UK, everything in it. It's just when you find that trial and you want to understand it, that trial can speak to you in finding out the things in the moment. You know, one of the things too, when people try to tell what's going on at a trial, oftentimes there's nuance that's missed. They don't know about claims. They don't know about how this stuff came to be. They don't also know about, again, all the laugh tracks for denials. So, yeah, when you go through that for covering the Hale's case, definitely. Now, being a journalist for a specific person, no, never. For the case, this case right now has my undivided attention. It has. Everything else right now pales in comparison. It's just not as interesting to me because this case is insane. It involves so many factors. I mean, you know, we're not just talking about the federal case. We're talking about all the insanity with thumbnail. Look where that's potentially going. We're looking at potential sanctions. They're talking about opening back up again. You have threats coming from the lawyer. I mean, you potentially have what's his face? Stark. I couldn't think of his name for a second. I don't know. Is he communicating with them? Not sure. Which that would be a really crazy thing, wouldn't it? I mean, considering Stark was handpicked by BBB. He went out and he recruited Stark. He told us he was recruiting. So he went and he found these people himself. So you got to wonder, right? You got to wonder. But anyway, Sandra D. What's up, Sandra, by the way? Thanks for your membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Thugs. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate you. You also dropped another membership on somebody out there as well. Thank you. Appreciate you on that for sure. Was that Did You Know Gamer? Thanks for the 5 there. I'm wondering if it's really that guy still giving money or if they have someone impersonating him to stop the questions. I think it's probably like him. See, here's the thing. Like, this is the weird thing going on with the donor situation. Even after giving money, you notice people in the chats are pissed off. They are taking aim at the donor. And this person, they were taking aim back. The super chats are nasty too. Like, if you read some of them, they're not just backing. They're backing to talk smack about this dude. I mean, look at this here. Like, check this out. So just again, I'm gathering for it. But when you look at these super chats, look, no strings attached. That's a shot at this guy who gave lots of money. It might not have all those zeros after it, but I promise not to ask for it back. all of this at war. There were others too. So not only is this person giving more money, but the people are smack talking them, and they still are giving money. And like I said, I don't get the why. Just to be honest, I don't. I mean, again, as far as the case and everything else is concerned, you have this person making statements that should concern anyone. And again, BBB himself saying that those things were real. That alone should give you hesitation. Pause. And don't contact anyone. I'm going to say that. PSA, don't contact anyone associated with this or any other case, by the way. Just throwing that in there for our litigious moron out there. But also, on top of that, this person has been attacked on multiple channels, and all for asking first for clarification and transparency. And then secondly, because they asked for their money back. And it went from, this should disturb them too. It went from all of this money is in the bank account of 2L. Oh, they have the money too. Actually, almost all that money's been spent. They couldn't return it because. So it's not just that. It's being targeted for an entire live stream that is built targeting a person. Then this going over to other channels, targeting a specific, a guy again that gave money, and he still gave money. It looks like. Now, could that be another problem? Maybe. I don't. They didn't ban them or anything, but there were a lot of people talking smack, and they were also mad enough because of this that there were people leaving. They were like, "Yo, I've been back in this a long time, but I'm not dealing with this." So it's fascinating. This isn't, they tried to make this into, one other thing on that, they tried to make this into an issue of this one person. They're trying to take over your channel. This is not theirs, it's yours. No, they asked for transparency for the thing that you keep doing. They asked. And that should be, it shouldn't be something they keep saying, well, we contact people behind the scenes. Oh, no. No. That is a red flag for scamming. Because with scams, if you notice, like you look at any giant scams out there, again, I'll refer to not the same, but when people had concerns with like a Bernie Madoff, everything that he was doing was smoke and mirrors. Everything. There was nothing. There was nothing there. No realism at all. What he would do is, oh, well, if you want to ask questions, we'll exclude you from our private club. They would make threats and more, but they would make communication. Like if the person was big enough, they would have a sit down and they would talk with the person one-on-one. But there would never be any type of transparency. And again, if it's not a scam, there should be public accounting, public transparency. If there's not litigation like that, there should be law enforcement added to it because of potential litigation, because it's an issue. That's a good question. Kelly, thanks for the 2. Your giggling is the best. I know I get giggling sometimes. I think this stuff is so funny. Thank you, Kelly. Chris, thanks for the 5. Really hope they have security for everyone going to Jeff's funeral. I'm worried that some crazy person is going to do there and do something crazy. I'm sure they have everything worked out for that. I do. And again, love to Jeff, man. Good dude. Like I said, I'm not gone. It's just, I don't know. I love to him, love to his family. I wish he would have been here for this year. I think this would have been the year we would have seen all the growth that we saw with his channel afterwards. I think we would have seen that anyway. But we missed the guy. So, yeah, just what a time. AKA the cat lady. Thanks, dude. Do I need to change my username? Now, maybe you need actually with if you are indeed a cat lady and that is a positive, maybe you need to take it back, because these days, cat lady is utilized as an insult, because it's used for these. It's just like Karen, I almost said Karen. I was like, well, Karen, if your name's Karen, that's not your fault. Maybe people need to take it back in a positive way. There's no issue with you owning cats and you being proud of it, you loving your pets. The issue is that negative connotation. So yeah, you could be the positive of that, aka that positive cat lady. Kirby, thanks for the 10 there. Tug, every time I look at your face, something's going to open up and it's going to eat my face. Yummy. Yummy. I tell you, AI, it was so weird. It made it even weirder. Look at this. I mean, look at that. Oh, wait. What's going on in here? Oh, no. Look, you can see right through it. Oh, my gosh. What am I? It made it even weirder, didn't it? Tracy, thanks for the 5 there. Hey, what do you think of the new motion that dropped today? I think it's fascinating. That's what we were talking about. I think, especially considering the judge just said there needs to be communication, and they're like, we don't really want to. We don't really want to. Stick it widget. Thanks for the 5 there. If you have more than one AKA, and that's not a silly internet name like Sticky Widget, for example, it screams sketchy as HE double hockey sticks. Indeed. There is, that's for me. Like if you don't have a shortening of a name, like I have a name that you can shorten. So, that's one thing. But and you may have gone out and changed your name for something, but if you have half a dozen aliases or more, that is potentially a red flag. And that on its own isn't just the issue. I mean, there's so many things that pop up. But yeah, remember too, like we were talking about, like that's over the deposition dates. I mean, the deposition dates may get really, really interesting. Remember, there's a lot of smack talked about how they were going to handle depots. Remember that, right? So, yeah. Remember, they were like, oh, yeah, we want that there. Man, you don't want it. Like I said, I don't want to deal with stupid litigation. I don't want to deal with what I consider Jeremy's litigation very much has a point to bringing certain people in there like them. On the other side of that, it's fascinating how they scream everything that they yell. Like now they're crying vexatious litigation. Isn't it fascinating after they pull something that you're like, that's vexatious, right? Strange, isn't it? Rebel Bird, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, by the way. Thank you very much for that, Rebel Bird. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too. I'll be out there. Props to you, Mons. Thank you all. Zon 1960, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yorkie Mom, also, thank you for your membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. And welcome to Tugs Thugs. My adventures in homebrewing. Thanks for the 5 there. The whole library would need to be disinfected if not declared hazmat zone. I know that was so gross. Talking about that filing, blah, gross, yuck, so gross. James, thanks for the thanks, man. Thanks for the 2. What he does not do is contact me through y'all. Through y'all, and thank you, man. Appreciate you, buddy. Carolyn D, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Saw those fall in. Thank you for that. Appreciate you there. Kathy, thanks for the membership too. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you, Kathy. Sticky Widget, thanks for the 5. Tug, we can set a lot of core. My people, we call your people. And my people, I mean, I have no people. So. Indeed. Indeed. How dare it, Sticky Widget there. We fixed it, right? Cat Watcher, thanks for the 5 there. A fool and his money are soon parted. Yes, indeed. I thought that right when I saw that. Yep. That's exactly what I thought too. K-Matt Red Queen, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Appreciate you. Rick, thanks for the 2 there. Lynette, lies exposed. Indeed. Indeed. There are a lot of that exposure too, isn't it? Bernice, thanks for the 28 months. Hey, Tug. Wow, how time flies. Hope all is well. I know 28 months. Crazy, isn't it? It's wild. Jameson, thanks for the 2 there. The Florida Charitable Solicitation Act. Oh, no. The Florida Charitable Solicitation Act. Let's see. Florida. I haven't looked up the Solicitation Acts, to be honest. You know, where how you have to register, because it's also known as 496, requires charitable organizations to register. It also regulates how charitable organizations can solicit donations, how all of that's supposed to be put together. Yes, indeed. You got to wonder, when you're running half a dozen or more funding drives too, like it's not just one thing that was on the spur of the moment. It just keeps going on and on. That's where things get a little bit frisky, right? Because you're no longer talking about one. Again, you'd be like, yeah, I did that off the cuff. 5, 6. How many? How many before it's a problem? And Debbie, thank you for the $20 super sticker there. Thank you again for super stickers. Appreciate you there. Thank you. BC Eagle Deb, thank you for your membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Soldier Mom, thanks for the 2 there. Actually, there was that without a statement and a statement. Did you see the latest motion by BBB? Oh, yes. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Appreciated that too. Thank you. And Mama Lori dropped 5 gifted memberships as well. Thank you, Mama Lori. Thank you for that. That is much appreciated. Thank you. Cunning Linguist, thanks for the 2. BBB was never good at dodgeball. He lost there too. It seems to be losing a lot of stuff, doesn't he? It's just crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Got the Ricada one there too. 50. Thank you, man. Doug is an OG champ and a true friend. Miss you, homie. Talk soon. Indeed, man. Indeed. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Ellen, thanks for the $4 super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate that as well. What's up, Ellen? Emma, thanks for the 2. Stupid is stupid does. There's a lot of stupid to go around, right? Miss Doolittle, thanks for the 10. 8:15 p.m. And I was in the kitchen with stove and oven because the furnace quit. Oh no. 24 degrees out, waiting for furnace repairs. Come emergency appointment. Good thing you're on to keep me entertained. Keeping warm thoughts. Yes, make sure you are warm. Stay warm. That sucks there. I know right now, like here, we have the downstairs, the gas heater part has been on the fritz. So that has been, it's been frosty for sure. Carol, thanks for the 5. Do you think they will be executed? Do you mean like they will be removed from her deposition? I'm not sure what you're asking with that, Carol. Do you think they will be? I'm not sure what you mean by the statement there. So let me know. Let me know what you mean on that one. Writer Chick, thanks for the 5. Can you just imagine what the magistrate says when he meets up with other judges about this case or BBB in general? I think if it were me, I would have a good laugh. You know, I think I would for sure. And also, Ricada said, hey, thank you for an extra 20 there. Good night, all. Support my man, Tug. He's one of the most genuine, best-natured dudes out there. Also, that draw. I know, indeed. Hey there. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I try. You know, I do try to look at these things and have a good, we deal with some crazy stuff. So I try to have some kind of positive nature with it too. Gotta have it. Elephant, thanks for the 5 there. Q, where do pirates get their hooks? Answer, secondhand stores. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Get you to the secondhand indeed. And Kathy, thank you for the 5 there. Thank you very much, Kathy. Appreciate that. Shane, thanks for the month there. Man, this month has gone by fast. Loving your work. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate, like I said, I appreciate all of you. You make this channel work. So thank you. If I dropped another one too. What's Forrest Gump's password? One, Forrest, one. That's funny. Actually, I like that one. Here's another one. What's a lawyer's favorite drink? Subpoena colada. Those sound like jokes I tell my kids. I like that. Silverleaf, thanks for the 2 months there. I think BBB needs an MRI. Something this is not right. Some days I feel like that, Here's another one for Belly Fun. What do you call a sad cup of coffee? Dispresso. Oh no, sad there. Dare, thanks for the 5. Now remember, the judge is a potted plant in the courtroom. Indeed, he's a potted plant. And that potted plant had to speak a few times, didn't it? Crystal Love, thanks for the 28 months. Just glad to be here. Appreciate you, Tug. Love the little ones too. Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate you being here. I am too. I'm very happy just to be here. Thank you. Hello, thank you for that gifted membership. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you there. Siggy, thanks for the 2. Who gave him the Lulyer license? I know. It's funny. Some people, they call them the LOL, lol. I call him the lull because he speaks like this. So he's not only the LOL, but it's the LUL. Oh, I love it. Elu, thanks for 5. Tug, reminder to redirect chat. Indeed, I've set it up there. So appreciate that. Breadstick money to keep the man and bitter. Thanks for the coverage. Thank you. Yes, indeed. I've been trying to redirect too. We cannot redirect, by the way, when we do the rumbles, we can't redirect. So that's one time we can't. But every other time we try. Taz, thanks for the 2. Telling girls in love and prayer. Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate the thoughts, prayers, everything. I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so hopefully everything comes in good too. We'll see. Man, with this weather too, I don't know if any of you ever have like you get chest pains from the weather, where your chest like builds up. But I hate that because I'm always thinking, oh my God, that's my chest. I'm worried about it. So I'll get that stuff checked out again. Ugh, hate it though. Rebel Bird, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships as well. Thank you. Another 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Rebel Bird. Siggy, noted. Thanks for the 10. Making Marissa mad. Yes. Indeed. That's really funny. Actually, I like that. Thank you. Vanessa, thanks for the 5. Todd, one more thing. Bug is so sorry. I know. She's always like that. Sending love to Lug and Bug. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I know. She's always like that. I love it. She's so cute with it, too. Susan. Way pronounced way. Susan Way. Thanks for the 2 there, BBB, aka the Fainting Goat. I know. I love that. Kathy, thanks for the 10. Just because. Well, thank you. Just because. I appreciate it. World Explorer, thanks for 5. The voice you use with Megan reading Depo had me laughing so much. I was still hurting the next day. Keep doing it. Indeed. I think the live readings are a lot of fun like that. I think it's good times. Paul, thanks for the 5. Just funerals in rural Utah, like Texas, you don't mess around. Yeah, that's true too. Going to these rural areas and messing around, that's not the same thing. Zoan, thanks for the 2. Breadsticks for David Hasselton. Oh man, don't hassle the hog. And Frosted Pepper, aka thanks for the 29 months. No statement, but that is in itself a statement. So thank you all. I'm going to redirect you all tonight. I appreciate all of you. It's been a good turnout. man, almost 4,000 people getting good laughs. Still 2,300 of you through Super Chat. It's amazing. So appreciate you going over to Shizzy Wiznut to check it out, and we will see you.